What's up guys, Slickshot Games here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new, just newly dropped iteration of Train. It had been a long time, CS2 has been out for a while now, and they did promise a new Train, and finally, it's here with Train 2. Well, it's technically just called Train, but this is the new version of it, and I'm just going to be taking a look at it and reviewing it as I always do. So right off the bat, I just want to talk about the attention to detail here. You can literally see the raindrops rippling on the gun right here. It looks so nice, honestly. I love that little attention to detail. And right off the bat, they've gone with a completely new look to the map as well. So the attention to detail is just excellent, even in this first starting area in T-Spawn. But this map looks a lot different from what you may remember it as. So, starting off, you know, we're coming here, we're outside, it's rainy, it's, again, very nice looking. Dumpster's a little different, there's no little section here like there was originally. And this train is actually moving, which again, it's a cool little detail here. It kind of stops and moves around, so that's nice. So let's work our way to the sites here. So, let's start off with the A site, Classic. So right off the bat, this section is pretty much the same. They've added this little section here for a little more cover. You can't really shoot through this or anything like that, but it's basically the same sort of premise. A little smaller, actually, not as deep as you had to turn all the way over here to the right and then turn left. This is just a lot more open and spacious. At least this part is. This part's very small still. And they've included this little open section as well. So let's just enter the site here. Completely different. So what originally used to be two trains right here, this one has been turned to the right now. So this is a lot more space in this section. You can actually jump here as well. Pop Dog is still in the same area. And it's a lot more spacious. So this used to, again, be so claustrophobic. These two trains used to be here, but now they're not. So, and I agree with this change here. It adds a lot more actual opportunity to kind of navigate the site and not feel so claustrophobic and enclosed. What on earth is that? If that's not already a graffiti or some kind of sticker, it should be. Definitely. So, this upper section right here is pretty interesting. I think it does give you a little bit of an off angle, so I kind of like it. It's not super necessary, but you know, it's something interesting, and you can clear it. So if you are CT, it's definitely going to be super risky. Which in the other section of it, T main, you actually had to check the corner, but now, you know, you can just check it by looking over here, since this is a lot more spacious. So it's nice. So they got rid of, I was about to say they got rid of E-Box, but they didn't. Here it is, Classic. Same sort of angles as last time. And just coming in here to the site, this whole yellow section is the same. It's a lot bigger, actually, and it's not really curved. And Heaven is completely gone as well. So what used to be this whole section over here with a ladder has been completely removed. And there is a ladder there, a little nod to it, but you cannot go up there, which is funny. But this section right here is still a thing. And honestly, I wish they had also made this a little smaller, in my opinion. This thing's really big, and you can plant anywhere on it. It's a little awkward getting up here. But again, it's the same kind of premise from the first one. But I remember it being a little smaller, which I think I preferred. But again, it's still really good. And of course you can climb up here and everything from both sides. And you can smoke off and everything pretty easily. You know, even without being seen. Totally flubbed that one. Let me try again. A little higher. Did that hit it? Oh, I got it. Wow, first try, let's go. And I'm sure you could do a little boost here as well and everything. You can plant here. So yeah, just, again, you have to be right next to it, basically touching it. Alright, so let's check out Ivy. So again, we still have the sections here. Just taking a look at the map here. Little bin. and the moving train and everything. So Ivy is basically identical. You know, it's not not anything crazy. Again, I love the new look. I keep reiterating it, but it's such a nice looking map, honestly. I really like what they did with it. Just the new graphics of CS2 along with the lighting and just the... It's a lot more grungier, a lot darker looking, which I like. So Ivy's basically the same. So you come out here until this whole section is completely different. So what used to be this big open section here has now been blocked off by this machinery here, the back of this train. This is still an angle you're going to be peeking. It's the same kind of idea. You could even stand over here, but this is completely different now. And this section is also open as well. So, you know, what used to be something where you had to go around on the other side is now just, you can actually go from here as well. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this. I feel like this is pretty awkward. I like the more openness of the first iteration of it. I think that this is just a little awkward. I hate having to clear so many things when you're coming out. You know what I mean? As a T. Like if there's a guy standing right here, yeah, you know, you'll get the call out and everything, but it's just, there's too much to navigate around this section. I wish they didn't do this. And it's just very tight. Like, they opened up everything, and then this just section is very tight. So, a little points off for that. I'm not a huge fan of anything that's like that. Which is a great improvement that they opened up everything. And I guess they kind of are trying to make up for it by opening up this whole section and allowing you to go right through the middle and have several different ways. But, yeah, it's here. Those are the only two ways to get into the site. It just kind of streamlines it here. But I don't know, I'm not a massive fan. This is a lot smaller as well. So you can tell that this used to really go all the way down there. Instead, now it's just very close quarter. And this obviously leads to CT spawn still and everything. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, they almost made this into a whole entire section of its own, instead of being just a part of it where you can actually flank and stuff. It makes it a little harder to do that. You can still flank and everything, but I'm just saying you can't really go back and backstab people. Like, let's say there's a CT on the site, you used to actually be able, if you made it to this section, you could kill them from that angle. And yeah, there used to be a train here and everything, but they totally got rid of that. I think there used to be a train there. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, this is the two ways to get into the site. We'll have to see. This is the only questionable part, but I really like what they did with the A site. I think it's a lot more spacious. It's a lot more simple, which I like. Not as much stuff to sort of have to navigate. It's just these two and then these two trains. But this one is almost might as well be a wall or something, because it's so part of the map, which I appreciate. And you kind of have an angle here as well. So the CTs also have to have their own sort of section, so people, you know, actually guarding from this side and then being on the actual site. And honestly, you might see a meta where they might even just give this up completely, because you're totally blocked off from the site on both ends, you know, so this is going to be a completely separate battle from this one. So in that regard, I get what they were going with. But let's go check out the other side here. So going from Pop Dog, actually, and I'll work my way back up, but they've completely gotten rid of the ladder, which now it's Long Dog instead. And honestly, I think that the whole ladder mechanic was a cool idea and a cool addition to the map. I think it made for interesting plays, but anything with ladders and going up and down has just always been very awkward. So I'm glad that they got rid of that and kept it for just stairs now. So it's pretty cool. It's actually just a hallway now with stairs, and you got, you know, little electric units here, and then the door. And this is just a lot more simpler and makes a lot more sense, a lot more spacious. It's not as claustrophobic, a little closet basically where you drop. Now it's just a lot more spacious. And then boom, here you are in B halls. So let's go all the way back here again and check out this area. So same kind of idea. You know, come from T-spawn, And it's same kind of locker room area, but again, a lot more simplified, you know. A lot more attention to detail. Definitely looks more like a train, kind of like behind the scenes sort of office area. And I just love the lighting of this whole section. It's really cool looking. And instead of showers or locker, you know, kind of thing, now they actually have machinery and servers and stuff like that. It looks like, and little units for the actual train. So here you have this kind of wall broken here. And this allows more navigation as well. Instead of having to jump over a railing like they used to have, now it's completely open. A lot more space. If you're getting shot at, you can actually kind of try to dodge and weave here. You know, flash out, same kind of thing. So it's nice. I actually like what they did with it. It's a lot more spacious. And Pop Dog, it's going to be interesting to guard as a CT. It's going to be probably a lot harder because you actually now have three angles, sorry, to take care of people coming from Pop Dog, people coming from here, and people coming from here. So you really have 3 angles, all in the same place, but still, it's going to be really interesting to see how they do this. And I'm guessing they're going to try to smoke people off here on the left side, Pop Dog, or Molly that, while they try to take angles. You might even try to get aggressive, but again, it's all from one area. You can't really do any two-pronged attack anymore, at least coming into it. But you can do that with the B site. So, without further ado, let's check. Oh, and before I go, got this big open section, which they had before. But now it's even a lot more spacious, and by the looks of it, I mean, if you boosted someone, you could probably definitely see into connector. But classic, you know, coming down here, this seems a lot more spacious again. It's a very claustrophobic map, it's always been, but it's a lot more, or rather a little more spacious here. So here it is, here's the B site. Again, same exact layout as the original, but the trains are a lot more simplified. It's more space, it's less clutter. I think they got rid of one train over back there, so this whole area is completely open. They've got rid of this awkward section here. They have a little more room here to work with instead of just dropping here and being a straight line like it was. Now they have this section here. A lot more visibility, not as much things in the way. And this whole thing they had is completely gone. It's being blocked off by this little room here. So this completely gets rid of the idea of having to like have so many angles to look at where you're coming out, which I like, and wasting a smoke to cover that off, you know. But you can still peek it by coming out here. I smoked it, but you know. So yeah, so you can drop down from 2 different angles now. And again, it's going to be the classic case of kind of smoking this section off completely and then coming out of the site. And even smoking this side too off. One of 2 sides. And if you do that, you'd have a wall. And you just plant safely here. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And they've added little sections here where you can actually do a little mini boost. You know, like if you, let's say I wanted to kind of peek real fast and I was safe. And I did this. I can actually see over on that side real fast. Just a little quick thing. So the trains have actually been brought down a little bit where you can actually do that, which I like. Plus boosts. I mean, if you know this section's clear, you can boost on top of me and actually get kills over there from people trying to get there from over here. And yeah, and this section's still here, you know, so you're still gonna have the same sort of combat here, smoking this side off. So in essence, it's the same thing, but it's improved. I think it's a lot better. And they got rid of the 2-wall kind of thing on the site that they had. This train used to have like a section up here and a section up here. They got rid of that. Now it's just one thing in the middle, so you can more easily navigate it. And it's not as awkward. People can't really be standing here. Sure, you'll have people on here still, but you don't have to worry so much about every single angle on that side. So I really do like the changes. And again, love the look of it. This is something that just has excellent detail to it. All the bricks. It just looks like it just matches, if that makes sense. And I love all the water effects that they have going on. just really great attention to detail. Alright, so here we are on the CT side here. We have these two headlights kind of showing the shadows here and everything. And it's the same exact format. You know, A side on the right, and then B side you have two ways to get there. So this is virtually the same thing. So coming over here to the right, it's going to be pretty interesting how they actually navigate this section out of Ivy. So you're definitely going to be smoking this off while you're able to help, and you can actually see through this sort of. So, you know, helping over here on this section while I do that, standing here would be very, very greedy, probably not advised at all, honestly. I could definitely see people navigating both these sections, like with an op, like you can boom, shoot, and then shoot here, and you're totally safe, honestly. So that's another reason why this section kind of makes sense for the CTs now in a way, because you can get a pick and then fall back, which you couldn't really do that before without having to stand all the way back here or do something like that. Now it's like you can actually get multiple picks here and then get another pick here. So it's going to be pretty interesting how they do this. And you'd probably be, you know, over here on this section, of course, navigating around. And that's one of the interesting things about Train is you have so many different things you could stand behind, angles. You could be really annoying. And this map can just be super annoying, but I do like it. I've never hated the map. There's always been very interesting things that have happened on Train. So because of that, I do like the map. I do admire it. And there's not much angles to kind of come up here, because you're kind of stuck. You can't really retreat from here. So once you're up here, you really you're basically sitting duck at this point, because you can drop down here, they'll still see you. You know what I mean? It's just awkward in that angle. And then if you drop over here, down here, they could still see you. So being up here just is not a solution for anything, to be honest. Up here, I can kind of see it, but again, and this used to be a lot more used. Now I don't know how much that this is actually going to be utilized as CTs or Ts, honestly, getting up here, because there's just, it's a lot more spacious now. There's not much things covering you. There's not much retreat available. You're on here. I don't know what the game plan is if you're here. Even if you smoke this off, honestly, you're still going to be, assuming your teammates can't watch that anymore, you know. But if they are, fine. But even here, I mean, you can maybe get a pick here and then fall back this way. That would definitely be a angle approach if you want to take it that way. But even then, I don't know, you're kind of just a sitting duck from several areas. And you could say the same thing from the original Train too. But it's just, there's not much on this side anymore, which I like. I think that having too much is just an annoyance. Right here, an angle like this would be really annoying, especially when you're pretty much covered from Ivy, honestly. Like, sitting here with a Mag 7 or something, I don't think they would be able to see you. You know, and you're coming out like this and clearing your corners, whatever, and you're not going to see me at all while I'm here. So imagine somebody with a Mag 7 doing some crazy damage here, while this guy's, you know, doing the same thing on this angle, or even over here. And there is some visibility issues now here as well. Like, you really got to peek over here on this side if you want to do that. Another thing is CTs are going to be a lot more vigilant on this side, since there's no ladder, like where you actually, there's usually a warning. Now it's a lot more spacious, so people can double peek you, wide peek you. So you're going to have to be a lot more zoned in on this section as well. This section is still available for the CTs to utilize, but not as much, as this used to be a really big spot for CTs to actually look straight into T connector, but that's no longer a thing. The visibility has been completely removed, so the whole sort of meta and how people play are going to be completely different in this version, which I like. It's not the same map. It's the same map in essence, but the fact that you can't even see you know, T connector from here, because that used to be a staple. You know, people standing from here being able to see them cross. Now you can't do that. You actually have to get up close. You have to rely on the person pop dog. So I can see definitely maybe an aggressive way of defending the points now, maybe. You know, obviously smokes are going to be your biggest ally in this map, always have been. Going over to the B site, obviously, you know, when things go bad here, oh, they're all B. Alright, so again, it's been always a quick transition to the B site, instant almost. This is basically the same thing in essence again. They even have this back section, which is even more of a head glitch angle than it was before. And you could still navigate the terrain. So this site feels basically the same. And Heaven is a lot more accessible, obviously. Same kind of idea, mollying that off, smoking it off. Even flashing in for your teammates. And the flashes are going to be coming in from that angle as well. This whole section is different, so like I said, this whole thing, you can't look directly into Heaven from B. Now there's this thing in the way. So in order to even have an angle that you can either do this really risky jump, which I'm not really a huge fan of, honestly. I don't like the idea of having to jump over here like this just to peek this. And yeah, once you're here, the only retreat is falling back. So these two things, I guess if you look at them separately, are fine, but I don't know. It's just a little questionable to have this here like this. But yeah, I mean, again, this is just going to be strictly for retaking. And you have this angle here, which wasn't a thing before, but now you do. So you can actually hold with an op here. And they put this here, I think, to kind of block the visibility of that too. So, you know, it's awkward here as well. There's this whole thing in the way when people are dropping. There's the ladder. It's very awkward. I don't know if they did this on purpose, but I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it from the CT perspective. I think this is just going to be really awkward. Like, you have this little space here to work with, so... And even here, like, once they pass, it's like, now what are you looking at, you know? So, I feel like definitely on the ground kind of coverage is what they're going to be doing now. And you have to actually jump here to walk on this section, too. I would not be surprised if, obviously, they hold for back here, which has always been the case most of the time, back here, and then oppers back here, with a lot less cover, mind you, as well. So, this is not going to be ideal anymore. It's definitely going to be trying to use these as cover, and stuff like that. And coming here from the CT spawn, same kind of idea, not much going on. Over here, that's different, just, yeah, the two areas are exactly the same. And yeah, so, but honestly, I haven't actually sat down and played a 5v5, but I like the changes. I think making this a lot more spacious and making this a lot more accessible to both sides is going to be completely important to making the whole flow of the game a lot different. And I'm really curious to see what the meta is going to be, how the pros are going to be playing the train, this new version of train, what metas we're going to see, what plays. There's a lot of different things that are different, but in essence, this is the same classic train. So, with all that in mind, that's just my opinion on the map. Yeah, let me know below what you think of the new train, Train 2 as I like to call it. Please let me know, and hope you guys have a great day. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button, stay up to date with all the latest in video game and CS and Overwatch. I do a mix of stuff, but let me know if you want to see more of this. But thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.